Hello and welcome back to the Good Talkers podcast. I'm Tessa Livingston, and as always, I am joined by the wonderful Ashton Haugen.
Hi.
And we're not joined by Deanna. Normally, I would say her name next, but today Deanna isn't here, so we're going straight to our wonderful producer, Jordan.
Oh yeah, sweet ass. I can fill in for Deanna. Or
Yeah, you
try.
can. I think that'd be delightful fun. Deanna is not with us today. She is currently gallivanting. At the moment, I saw her post like a photo of her like climbing up some ice on a mountain.
She's in Canada. I think she's in Canada.
It sounds very
Sounds
She's
about
in
Deanna-esque.
right.
Canada.
She's in
Yeah,
Canada.
she's
That's right.
vacationing, doing her rock
Mm.
climbing thing.
Yeah, so she's just off being her badass self as per usual. So she is not with us today. It is the three of us. You are welcome. It's going to be fun. So today, we're talking the good talk on the balancing act and being and doing all of these different things while you are sustaining a creative career. How do you balance everything with your survival job, your fun creations, your hobbies, everything that you do in one to be a fully fledged person? But before we start, does anybody have any chat they'd like to share? Anything fun from their week? We haven't prepped this either, so
Surprise!
has anybody has anything interesting? I
Um,
could
so I thought
anything.
during the LA wildfires, which are pretty much over, by the way, just good news.
Oh, great.
The actual
That's
fires
good.
itself, not the cleanup or things getting back to normal part. That's not happening yet. But
Mm.
the fires themselves are pretty much done. So hopefully. But I am very thankful because I thought that the power outages kind of surged and ruined my mic, but that's not the case. I was so scared and so worried, but my mic got saved. I had to replace a couple of cables, but that's way better than having to replace a microphone. So I'm very grateful. Um,
Yay.
I also want to mention, I don't know how soon this is going to come out, hopefully soon, but NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors, actually has a good pool of money. If you have been affected by the LA wildfires in any way, they have a good pool of money that they have gotten together, and not a lot of people are requesting it. So if you've been affected in any way, with housing, your microphone, I mean, anything, get in touch with NAVA. You don't even have to be a member to get this money. It's for anybody, any voice actor, any person in the voice acting community that was affected. They want to help you out. So get in touch with them. That's NAVA, NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors. So yeah. Yeah.
That's so nice. I love Nava. They're
I
such a
know.
good
I
group
love
of
them too.
people. They have wonderful resources, and it's like they're such a grounded company. Like the stuff that they do and that they put out is actually really helpful. It's not like clickbaity or like do this and you'll be a millionaire
Yeah.
voiceover. It's proper like this is a long haul.
Yes.
Here's the starting track. Like they're really. I love
Yeah.
Nava. They're so good. I always like all the stuff that they send
Yes,
out.
Jordan.
You stored it?
Hands up, nice and early. This is a naive question about fires in the middle of winter. Like in New Zealand, it rains way too much for there to
Oh
be
yeah.
ever any fires in winter. I'm like, hang on, is it normal in LA that there's fires
No.
in winter and is it just
No.
hot all the time and does it not
No.
rain that much? Like
January
what's the
is not
deal?
supposed to be fire season. August is supposed to be fire season. So
Oh.
here's what happened.
Yeah.
I am not, the disclaimer, I am not a weather expert or a climate change expert.
Oh what?
However,
I thought you were.
so a couple of years ago, not last winter, but the winter before, we had a really wet winter. Very, very, very wet. I mean, it rained, I don't know, for like 3 months straight, which is very abnormal for this area. After that,
Right.
we had a not so wet winter, and then this one has been extremely dry, like way more dry than I've ever seen it. We haven't got a drop of rain. So what had happened was during that very wet
Mm.
winter, after that, spring and summer came, and because it was such a wet winter, there was an overgrowth of plants and trees and bushes and weeds and all kinds of stuff that grew because it was
Ah.
so wet that year. But since then, all of that brush has pretty much died because there hasn't been a lot of wetness. Combine that with the Santa Ana winds being extreme, it's like literally just like the perfect storm for a major fire to happen that literally nobody could have stopped. Nobody could have prevented it. Nobody could have stopped it. It was just the perfect conditions for that kind of fire. That's just from what I understand. There's also been a lot of speculation of people starting the fires because they knew these conditions were happening. So we'll see how that investigation pans out and what happens. But yeah, no, this is not supposed to be fire season for LA. This is a fire season is, 8-10 months from now, not right now. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because in New Zealand, it's like we definitely have fire warnings at different times during the year, and some places are much drier than others. But like you saying that like it rained for 3 months and that was really strange. I'm sure, Jordan, you were like, oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Sounds like a yearly occurrence. Yeah.
That sounds
Especially in Auckland.
regular.
North
Yeah,
Island,
and where I'm
New
from too.
Zealand. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Far south.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
Yeah,
the
far
middle
south.
you get a bit more nicer weather in winter.
Yeah,
but
the middle's pretty good, like Canterbury, and then like the top of the South Island is like really nice weather all the time, and then there's Wellington that's just like windy all the time. Auckland that awkwardly rains whenever it feels like it, and then the South, which is last time I was home for Christmas, it was 30 degrees on Christmas Day, and then was it quite 30? It might have been like 27, something like that. And then the day after it was 13 or 12, and my dad had to light the fire on Boxing Day because the temperature had literally halved. Yeah, where I'm from is mental. Well, that's interesting. So, do you know the only reason why I know what Santa Ana
Because
is?
we talked about it.
The winds?
Oh,
No. Do you know the
Yeah.
movie The Holiday
yeah.
with Jack Black? Yeah, he talks about
Ah.
it. That's the only reason I know what those are. So when you said them, I was like, oh, I know what those are because Jack Black talked about them once.
Yeah.
How good's Jack
Such
Black?
right.
He's a one of a kind,
Oh, I
that
love
dude.
Jack Black.
We were talking about him
Yeah.
last night at a music thing. I was like, man, that guy. We were talking about School of Rock. I was like, yes,
I
what a
love
film.
School
I
of
love
Rock.
School
How
of
good.
Rock.
I met Mike White one
Yeah.
time in when I was in LA. He's an awkward guy. That's an
Mm.
awkward guy right there. Mike White is the guy who wrote School of Rock, and he's also the guy that plays Mr. Schneebly,
Okay.
the roommate.
Oh, I thought, yeah, when you said it, I was like,
He
Mike White, man,
he
that rings
writes a
bell.
lot
He's
of
Mr.
stuff too. It's
Schneebly.
not just School of Rock. Like he wrote The White
Mm.
Lotus, and he's written a ton of stuff. But yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a he's a little awkward guy. Very cool to meet him though. See him in person. Yeah.
Ashton, who's the most famous person you've met? Because you would see more than we would probably.
Or even just viewed, most famous person you
Yeah,
viewed.
seen or whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to have said hi.
I usually don't say hi to famous people, mostly because it's so weird. I know that I
Mm.
live here and like I've been around like famous people before, but I never believe that it's them. Like there was this one time,
I totally understand
I
that.
had a friend
Yeah.
who was performing at the Troubadour, which is a very famous venue here in Los Angeles. And she was performing there one night, and so I went there, and I don't know if you know who Jimmy Kimmel is. Okay, so I guess the
Yes.
band before
Mhm.
my friend band was Jimmy Kimmel's son's band, was playing also at the Troubadour that night. And so we saw him like get out of his valet, but I didn't believe my friends. They're like, oh yeah, that's Jimmy Kimmel. I was like, that's not him. And so then after we go in the venue and I had like 2 Long Island iced teas at that point, but we're having a good time hanging out. And Jimmy Kimmel's like literally standing like almost right in front of me. And they're like, that's him. That's Jimmy Kimmel. And I was like, that's not him. And so in my kind of inebriated state, I like walk around him, like look him in the face, don't say anything, and then turn back around to my friends and be like, yeah, it is him. And then walked away. Oh.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's
There's another time
amazing.
Justice Smith
I love
bumped
that.
into me. Is the same night I met Mike White. But that's it. I don't meet a ton of famous people all the time, but it does happen.
I love that you've got that sort of attitude as well. It's really funny, like when you hear like about Americans meeting famous people, they'll go up to them, they'll say hi. New Zealanders, no freaking way. We see a famous person and like we hide from them, like we pretend like we haven't seen them and just kind of like ignore them awkwardly. We're so strange. Like we don't New Zealanders don't like to bother people in the slightest. So like you'll see a famous person, you go, oh, I wish I could go talk to them, but our inner like culture says don't
Well, I
do
just
it. You're
figure
not
like
allowed.
they probably get bombarded all the time with people coming up to them, and I don't want to be one of those people. You know what I mean? But I still did it to Jimmy Kimmel. He probably thinks I'm like the most annoying person he's ever seen in real life. Well, it happens.
It happens. It happens. That was a nice little segue. Good questions, Jordan.
I'll
Thanks.
keep them coming. I might have run out, but we'll see.
You're all done on your questions now. You
Yeah,
finished.
as you were.
Great. Well, then I suppose we should delve into the topic of the day. We're talking about having multiple jobs, doing multiple things as creatives, and being really busy in that regard and trying to balance who we are as people with our jobs, with all the extra things that we do. So I think it would be really interesting initially just to like go around and list off what you do as a human being, because I can imagine everybody's got at least 3 or 4 things that they sort of do on a daily basis that kind of
Yeah.
equates to their income. Ashton, would you like to go
Sure.
first?
Well, first, I'm a VO actor. Like, I take care of all that stuff, as we probably, I hope you've realized throughout this podcast.
If
Yeah.
not, I don't know what we're doing wrong. I'm
So I'm
so
a voiceover
sorry.
actor. But I also, from time to time, like to delve into stage acting. And so I do that from time to time. I haven't really because I've been so busy, but I am auditioning for something next week that I'm very excited about. So that'll
Woo!
be fun. It'll be a character that's I've never played before. But it's strange. Like in my older years, I'm now auditioning for roles that are like the last play that I did. I was a leprechaun. This next one coming up, I will be
Oh my God, I love
auditioning
that.
to be a dwarf.
Oh, solid.
Specifically Gimli the dwarf from The Lord of the Rings in a musical parody, but it'll be really fun. I really want to be Gimli.
If you get cast in that, I'm coming. I am getting on a plane and I am going to watch that. Jordan will go.
Yeah.
We'll just,
Okay.
yeah, just carry on
Interesting
bag.
enough, I'm
Done.
also auditioning for Rosie. So, yeah.
Oh, for those of you that don't know, my boss at Big Mouth Voices, Sarah McLeod, played Rosie Cotton
Yes.
in The Lord of the Rings. So
Yes.
that's
So
what
that's the
Oh.
other part
referencing there.
I'll be
I'm gonna look that up.
I'll be auditioning
Yeah, look it up,
for
look it
is
up.
Gimli and Rosie.
Awesome. You should like literally just be like,
I'm
actually,
going- okay.
I know her.
I know it's kind of
As you-
weird
as
and
you
like
go into the
cringy name
audition room.
droppy, but I'm going to. Like I feel like I have to at that point.
Yeah.
So I do that,
I think you do as
and
well.
then I also a good chunk of my time is I also teach. I teach at the Laguna College of Art and Design. I teach acting for animators. I also teach other classes. I am only part-time there, but it does take up, a good amount of my time, and I absolutely love teaching there. It's just fantastic. The students are amazing. They blow me away with their talent on the daily. I just absolutely love it. But then there's other stuff in my life too. Like I've got I've got some really close friends who I absolutely adore, that I love to spend time with. I've got family that's close. I like to spend time with them as well. And then I have like other weird hobbies that I like to delve into. Like
What do you mean weird?
like weird stuff. So weird that like I don't even know if I want to
do
mention it.
recall you being at like a Shrek
Yeah.
dress up thing once. I remember seeing a
Yes.
photo of you and your partner.
We
dressed
do.
up as
We went to the
and
Shrek
Fiona.
rave. Yes. Yes, Jordan.
So cool.
When you say weird shit, all I can think about is those people who ride those fake horses with the stick.
Hobble horse people, hobby horse.
Yeah, it's just the head of a
Yes.
horse, and they do jumps and that. Is that
I
you?
have never done that before, but I would. I 1,000% would do that. It is not off
It's
the
not
table.
off the table. Like I'm kidding.
No, but I like to take dance
out the
classes.
gate,
I like
man,
to take
for a hobby.
burlesque dance classes. And I
yeah,
recently
that's
got
right.
into like, this is really weird, doll customization. So like I'm making my own Blythe doll. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
Looking
But
it
like
up.
weird stuff. Yeah.
Jordan's on the Google today.
just like weird stuff. I also play I really love video games. I love gaming. I play a lot of video games. I would much rather actually do that than like watch movies or television.
Oh, wow.
Dude, those things are evil
That's why
as
I love
looking.
them.
Blythe
What, the
doll,
Blythe-
they look like they're from a horror.
I
That's
love
Chucky.
them.
Can you share your screen, please? I want to see it. For those of you, if
Oh,
you're watching on
man.
YouTube, you'll be able to see what this is.
I-
If not, you need
I
to Google
think
what's
that
a
they're
Nah,
Blythe
just
adorable.
go look it
doll.
up.
They've got these
That's messed
giant
up.
eyes.
What do you
They're so
mean?
and their eyes change. I love it. I love it so much.
What do you mean they change? Change
Whatever
from
you
what to
want.
what? Jordan, have you got your screen sharing?
I'm trying.
You're trying?
Yeah, I'm
Trying?
trying.
Yeah, for those of you that were present for the technical difficulties episode, we're
Oh,
currently having
yeah.
one.
Can you see it?
Jordan is yes. Oh,
Look
those
at these.
are
Look at this thing in here. That's evil, man.
Jordan. I don't know that. Oh, actually, no. Wait, I will take that back. I was about to say I don't think evil's the right description, but some of them are a
That's
little
why
bit on the
I
creepy
love them.
side.
Yeah. What's those movies?
But
Oh,
to be
you know
fair,
what it
you love
reminds me of?
Halloween,
Saw.
Ashton.
Saw. It reminds me of
Creepy
Saw.
cute. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that
like a
makes
little
sense.
saw doll. I
Yeah,
think that'd be so
creepy cute.
cute. Hanging out in my
Yeah.
house.
There's like an actual word for that, isn't there? There's like a definition word that means creepy cute. Like it's like how like the Japanese have like
Yeah.
kawaii, like that kind of like really like cutesy, like
There
how
has
I'm
to
sure
be.
there's a word for it. I don't
Anyway,
know what it is.
that's my aesthetic.
has
It's
to be
creepy
creepy
cute. I
cute.
also wanted to get into taxidermy of like raccoons. I almost took a taxidermy class. I tell you, weird stuff. I got weird stuff that I'm into that you guys don't even know about.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about you today, and
Yeah.
I've known you for what, like 3 years now.
I keep my weirdness.
Tessa asked
Yeah,
for money making things, man. Come
I
on.
did. No,
Yeah.
no, this
Yeah.
is all
Those
I
are my
wanna know.
hobbies that I like to do if I have time to do
Yeah.
them. So yeah, one day I will taxidermy a raccoon and dress it up in little outfits and stuff. That is a goal that I have one day.
I think we need to do a whole episode just dedicated to you and your extra life. Like I think I don't even know that I want to talk about I don't want to do anything else. I just
Talk about how weird Ashton is.
know more
Yeah.
about you. Yes, I'm in for that. Because now I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so boring. Yes, Jordan, he's got his hand up.
Creepooty. That's the Urban Dictionary term for
I love
creepy and
that.
cute at the
Creepooty.
same time.
Okay.
Creepooty. It's quite hard to say. Anyway, as you were.
As
Yes.
you were.
Anything
don't
that's
even know where I
creepy,
was.
I love. I also go to like horror conventions and horror
You go
conventions.
to what conventions? Oh,
I
it's
know.
not the word
It's
that I
okay.
heard. That's
yeah,
fine.
me either. Even
No,
the second time I heard a different word.
Yeah, so our non-rotic brain
Did you hear
heard
horror
a very, very different
conventions?
word.
Okay.
No, I did.
No,
Yeah.
horror. Like scary movie conventions.
Like I know you're into weird stuff, but Ashton, you probably shouldn't share that on public.
I go to those too. No, I'm just kidding.
Safe place, mate. Safe place.
Hey, look,
We listen,
and we don't judge.
judge.
we don't judge.
Anyways, so it's very difficult to fit all of those things in to a 24-hour
Mm.
period because I have to do things like be a human and eat and sleep and exercise and, like all the
Oh, yeah.
regular human things as well. So balancing is difficult.
Yes.
And I don't get to do all the fun stuff that I really want to do, even some of the creative projects that I want to do. Like, I haven't been able to do as much stage work as I would like because my teaching schedule at the college has been conflicting with that, which is fine, but I just wish
Yeah.
I had more hours in the day to do everything I want to do,
Yeah.
What about you, Tess?
That was amazing. Oh, well, look, probably nothing.
That's not
now.
true. That is so not true.
Well, like in comparison, my life is quite different, and I will explain why. So when it comes to to work sort of things, obviously I have my industry job with Big Mouth Voices, and I do like voice management and talent management and booking and all of those sorts of things and administration, which I really enjoy. If you were listening to the last episode or the episode before, I think where we had like a fireside chat, I was like, if you want to learn, go get an industry
Yeah.
job. It will change your life. So that's what I do for 3 hours of my day every day. And then I do demo production work, individual coaching with like clients on accents or voiceover stuff. So that can be like learning voiceover or always learning voice for voiceover. I teach at a couple of different drama schools in New Zealand, teaching accents, and fingers crossed we'll be teaching more voiceover soon. What else do I do with my time? I think that's about it. Just at the moment, I've sort of condensed it quite a lot from doing lots of things like randomly to kind of being quite specific about what I will and won't work on. I'm also a actress as well, but I don't do screen and stage. So I only do screen, and at the moment I'm only doing commercial because I decided I didn't want to do on-screen acting anymore. But commercials I'm totally happy with, so that's fun. I think that's about it. And when it comes to hobbies, this is why it was so interesting. I actually have just noticed that I don't really have any hobbies. I don't do a lot. And reason being is because my life has been so focused on the thing that I love doing, which is voice and voiceover and all of that sort of stuff. And now that it's kind of all working and I don't have to focus on it as heavily, I'm like, oh my God, I don't do anything. I don't do anything else. Like my whole personality has been soaked in voiceover, in voice, that I'm like, oh,
I
I
know
need to do some
something you
other
do.
things.
You do
Oh my God, what
nails.
do I do? Oh yes, I do. I do. I do. I didn't do
Those are
these ones. These are
cute.
fun though. They're like jewel purple and sparkly. But yeah, I used to paint my nails all the time. That was a fun hobby. I really enjoyed doing that when I was doing it. I need to get back into it. But I am looking at dance classes. There's some dance classes around my house, and I'm like, I could go do those. Go do some bits and pieces. But that's about it, really. Like I don't create any dolls. I wish I created dolls. I wish I was
I
into
wish I had
that.
less hobbies, actually.
I'm kind of thinking
Hmm.
like I should just take some of yours and be like, I do these now and these are mine. I do like going to concerts. Like we went to Luke
Oh.
Combs last weekend, which was really good. He's really cool. And a couple of others just recently too, but like they're kind of like smaller, sort of like New Zealandy gigs. So those have been fun. But yeah, that's about it. Jordan, what do you
Mm.
do with your life?
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this pretty much sums up who I am. So I have
Mm.
like multiple different things that I do to make money, and they're all completely different from each other. So obviously, I do
Yeah.
this. I do podcast production and audiobooks and sound editing and just general like live event mixing and all that sort of stuff. And then I'm a personal trainer for a big business here in New Zealand, Les Mills, a big gym. So I do that every second day. I play harmonica and that makes me money. And
What?
I used to have a
What?
kombucha business for a while, which I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
that's right.
Tessa ever tried. Um,
No.
it was so delicious, and every time I drink store-bought kombucha, I'm so upset that I'm not still doing it. But I couldn't get the alcohol percentage down. That's the truth. It's really hard
You
with.
couldn't get it down.
Yeah, I couldn't get the live. When things are fermented live, you just can't. You can only do so much with getting them. The natural byproduct is alcohol, so it's really annoying. So I tried for ages, and it
Ah.
was like, to be considered non-alcoholic, it has to be less than 1% or something, and it
Oh,
was
right. Yeah.
like 1.6 or whatever. I was like, oh no! So I had to give it up in the end. I spent like 3 years making awesome products and not being able to getting everyone drunk, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but that's what I do, and I'm very busy. I find myself thinking I'm very busy, and other people are like, how do you do all this? I'm like, I don't. You just do. I don't know. You just find a way to fit it all in. There's a lot of hours in the
Mm.
day.
Yeah,
Ashton?
I was just wondering, what would it take to be able to sell alcoholic kombucha in New Zealand? Like, is there a lot of like red tape or?
Yeah, it's tricky. The problem is it has to be very alcoholic if you want to sell it as alcoholic. So
Oh.
then it
I was
needs to
gonna
be
say
like
you'd have to
4 or
crank it up a whole heap
5%.
more. Yeah.
And it's like that silly in the middle where you basically have to pour vodka into it to get the percentage up or whatever you're going to add to it. So people do hard kombucha, but it's just kombucha with
Okay.
vodka. I'd like to be
Right.
able to create one that was like 4% and actually natural alcohol, but I don't know what it would taste like. It might be
It
really
might be.
vinegary. I don't know.
There might be
But
people who love it.
then my brain was like, why don't I just make iced tea and do like really nice iced tea? Because everyone makes iced
Sounds
tea that's
yum.
full
That's
of
true.
sugar. I was like, how do I make iced tea
Yeah.
that's healthy? Because all of the ones in the shops are like loaded. Americans love
I really
iced tea.
agree.
It's a good market. Yeah, so I thought about that, and it doesn't ferment. It doesn't have to do anything. You just put it in a bottle, put fizzy in there, and then it's good. Shelf stable. That was another thing. Kombucha's
That's
not
true.
shelf stable.
That is true.
So that was
Ah.
fun, but that's kind of my brain's just working all the time with stuff like that. I'm always like, oh, what's another way I can make money instead of spending time on the shit that already makes me money? That's pretty much how I work. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I should just reinvest more of my extra time into the stuff that already works. But I'm always thinking laterally, like, oh, what else is there? So yeah, that's
That's
fun.
so. I
Ashton.
got
I
yeah.
was just
Ashton,
gonna
you
say,
go,
like,
and then
so
I'll.
I used to be that person that was like always I have so many things that like I want to do in my life, but I have to monetize them to like justify me doing them.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped doing that
Mm.
because I came across this idea called to fill up your cup. And I really feel like it's important to fill up your cup. So while I do love my jobs that I have that do make me money, I do love doing them, I also still need something in my life that fills up my cup, that gives me joy just for the sake of giving me joy. And it really helps my mental
Mm.
health. Like, so I used to run like an Etsy business where I did embroidery, and I used to love doing embroidery. And then I did that for years. And then I got so sick of it and running the business, and I didn't want to do it anymore. But if I had not monetized
Mm.
that hobby, like I probably would still love it and like still do it from time to time. But since I monetized it, it like put a bad taste in my mouth and it no longer fills up my cup. So I need to find hobbies or like things that I do outside of the things that make me money in order to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
But that's just, I mean, that's personally me. But I think that it's really healthy.
Oh, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Because I'm currently in the stage of that where I don't feel like my cup's being filled because everything that I've been focusing on is work, career, all of those sorts of things. And like for the last like especially January, like I didn't really notice at the end of December because like we'd just gotten back from Europe and then we had like only like 2 months before it was the Christmas break anyway. And then just like this time around I've gotten back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so bored. I'm
Mm.
so bored. I don't feel like I have anything to like do. So I started rewatching Friends. That was a problem because now I feel like I'm stuck rewatching Friends until Friends is finished. But I did a dumb thing. I started watching it because I was like, oh, I'll just watch an episode. So I like random generated an episode and it started at like season 4, episode 19 or something like that. And so I've finished it. But now I'm going background to the beginning because I'm like, but I didn't watch the beginning and I'm really worried.
And
I'm going to
keep
get to the
going.
middle again and go, well, but now you have to go to the So I'm very concerned for my well-being.
Hey,
It's I might
that's
be
all right. I
friends out
love
by the end of it.
Friends.
So do I. So do I. But yeah, I'm looking for things to do. Looking for
Yeah,
things to
Jordan.
do.
The cup full thing's interesting. I was talking to someone the other week about why don't we put ourselves in a position where our cup's overflowing so it can fill
Yeah.
someone else's? And I was like, oh
Ooh,
man, fuck, that got me
that's
thinking. That
nice.
did, yeah. I was like, why is filling it the limit? Why can't it overflow and fill someone else's cup? And I thought, man, that's the
Who
way
is
to
this
look at it.
person? Do we need to get them on?
Yeah, he's a good
Who
dude.
was
He's
who was
one
this?
of my favorite people to talk with. Actually, yeah, good
Yeah.
friend of mine, lives in Aussie. So yeah,
Oh, nice.
very insightful for how old he is. Yeah, the wise head.
No, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like without me being able to fill up my own cup to the top, there's no way it could overflow to help other people. So in order
Mm-hmm.
to like be able to help
Mm.
other people, I have to help myself first. Maybe this is a very American idea of me, like maybe that's the very American individualistic, but I have to be
Oh,
able to I have
no.
to be
I
able
think that's
to
right.
it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Unless I like
Mm.
have these needs that are fulfilled, if I have safety and I have food and I have friendship and I have this, I can't do any good for the world unless I have all of those needs already filled. So by caring for yourself and filling up your cup, you are helping other people because you'll be able to help them because your cup will be filled.
Mm. What is your most cup-filling activity? What's the thing that, like, when you go to do it, like, you're like, "Yes, I love doing this. This makes me feel so good when I get home," or, like, it's like the thing that you get home and you, like, talk
Mm.
at your partner about? Andrew loves to say that when he gets home. He comes home for 20 minutes when he gets home from work, and I just he's like, "You just talk at me," and
Yeah.
I'll follow him around the house as he does until he comes home. What's your talk at your partner cup-filling
I
thing?
See, okay, so I have the ADHD, so I have hyperfixations that change a lot.
I like
I
how
have
you
the
called it
ADHD.
the ADHD.
You know, the
I have
ADHD,
the
I have it.
ADHD.
And so my hyperfixations change. So currently, the new hyperfixation is the customizing the Blythe doll. Just weird things that just like give me the dopamine, and then I'll do it for a little bit, and I'll never do it ever again.
Right.
But something that has been consistent that I will always fill up my cup, whether or not I'm getting paid to do it or not, is singing. I love to sing, so I will often go out to
Oh, yeah.
karaoke with my friends. And every time I go karaoke with my friends, it is always like a really fun. I always have a great time every single time. Um, and I even think about it when I'm not doing it. Like I'm listening to songs and I think, oh, I want to karaoke that song next. I'll put it on my list of karaoke songs I want to try. Yeah, so that
God, you're fun. You're so fun. How why is it taken like I knew you were fun,
I'm
but
really
today I'm like,
fun.
you're fun.
I know I am
You're
really
really
fun. I do
fun.
have to say. But I also work really hard. I work
Gosh,
really hard
this is
and I play really
amazing.
hard. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I
Good
have
combo.
friends who have are very accepting of all my weird things because they got their own weird things. Like we found a little weird group. And two, they're not some of them are performers. We live in Los Angeles. It's a very artsy place.
Mm.
A lot of them are performers, but some of them are not. And even they will do karaoke. Like, we're all willing to go do things that we may not have thought we wanted to do, but we're willing to try them. And that's
Mm.
always fun too. So karaoke is a thing that I absolutely love. It gives me time on stage. It's not that serious. Like, you don't have to be Mariah Carey. And it's always fun. You know what I mean? And it's fun to cheer on my friends and other people. Yeah, I really love it. That's the thing that always consistently for years has filled up my cup and not changed because of the ADHD. So I think that one's sticking
So
around.
cute. Yeah, that seems like a
Yeah.
a foundational
Yeah.
foundational cup filler. Jordan, cup filler.
Yes, I usually have to think hard about good questions before I answer them, and that was an excellent example of a good question. And I didn't have to think hard at all, which reminds me that I should just carry on doing it. And it was motocross. Like, straight away, I was just like, oh, yeah,
cool.
sweet. There's nothing else that makes me feel like that in my life. There's something about flying over jumps and going really fast on two wheels that means that my cup overflows. So, yeah, I just try and do that as often as I can without hurting myself. And that's the moral of the story, really. Yeah, it's good. It's good when your brain's like, oh, yeah, straight away you've got an answer to that question. And it's like, okay, keep going.
Yeah.
I have kind
Keep
of a
doing that,
personal
so,
question
yeah,
for
good
you,
question.
Jordan, and you can feel free to answer it or not. You can tell me to fuck off if you want to.
I'll answer it.
Um,
I'll answer it.
So you if you would like to share this, you did have an accident fairly recently. I don't know how long ago it was. Was it like a year ago now?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
6 months
something
ago.
like that.
Yeah.
And that was a motocross accident,
Yeah.
right? Have you done it since then? Okay, good.
Oh yeah. Like as soon as it made sense, it's like, okay, the function, it was my hand was broken, and as soon as the function was better in my hand, I was like, all right, cool. The doctor said basically the bone's healed, which is the main thing. So you can go ahead, carry on doing whatever you were doing before. So I didn't wait around. Interestingly, I thought, oh, I'm going to be quite nervous about this, but I wasn't. I was kind of just like straight into it, and I was probably a little bit rusty because I'm not good enough. My baseline level's not high enough to be like able to get straight back on and be awesome after quite a long time off. I need to kind of build back up again, and I did. I still ride once or twice a week, so
Nice.
yeah, but I'm back to
Okay, good.
normal, yeah, which is good. Just a scar to show for it and a piece of metal in my hand, which I can feel, which is
Ugh.
always weird.
Ugh, that's
Bionic.
Especially in your hand.
so-
Yeah.
But yeah, good as gold,
Good.
100% these
Good.
days.
Well, I'm glad.
Feels good too.
That was my question.
Yeah.
All right, good. I'm glad.
Cool.
It was a really good question. I feel like there's been lots of good questions, lots of good answers today. Things are cooking. They're cooking. Now I don't know what to ask next. Oh no, so that was going to be my question. How have you found, like, at different phases throughout your life, maybe where like money isn't coming in so easily for you? Because obviously sometimes these cup fillers,
Yeah.
they cost. Like, they're not things that are just always so easily accessible. Two parts to this. How did you sort of manage the guilt feeling, like doing something for you that felt good, but dealing with the fact that there was probably like a money issue behind it? And do you have any suggestions for like free cup fillers?
Ooh, good question.
Because I know that I definitely struggled with, like, at one point, I wanted to do some dance classes, but I wasn't really getting
Yeah.
enough money to pay rent, and I was like, well, that's so I didn't end up doing anything. I was, well, because I can't afford that, so I shouldn't be doing that. So my cup was less like, it was just like this really icky, like, little cycle. Sometimes you kind of just have to bite the bullet and do them. But like, yeah, what are people's thoughts on that?
I don't know. I'm probably not the norm person to ask this because I have, over my lifetime, invested money in several different hobbies. So if there has been a time where I want like a cup filling activity, but I can't afford a new cup filling activity, I'll go back to maybe hopefully one of the ones that I've had in the past and see how that makes me feel. Like, I have a large library and a collection of books, and I still read quite a bit. But being an audiobook narrator has kind of made my reading for pleasure like slow down some, because I am reading a lot for
Right.
work. But I have a large library of books that I have not read. that I don't want to get rid of because I know I want to read them someday. So I might go back to one of those things. I also like still have that all of the stuff from the embroidery business that I once, did, and so I have a lot of stuff from hobbies that I've done in the past. So I maybe will try to go back to one of those, or find something that's free. And something that's free that always fills up my cup is spending time with people I love. And that doesn't mean you have to spend money. Like, I can invite people over to my house and we can watch a movie. And sometimes we don't even watch a movie because we're too busy talking and yapping to each other and having fun. So you don't have to necessarily spend money to have a good time. I'm also fairly lucky that my favorite karaoke spot, one of my friends bartends there. So I do have insider tricks. So it's either very cheap for me to go to karaoke, or I pay almost, basically nothing. Because I do have friends who work there that I've known that before they worked there. I've known them before that. So, yeah, it's one of my very expensive hobbies, though, that I have given up is I used to frequent Disneyland multiple times a week. Yeah. And I live like 20 minutes away from Disneyland right now. And I have not
that's
been
so cool.
in 5 years, which is the longest span of time I've ever spent not going to Disneyland. But honestly, the amount of money, if I look back at the amount of money that I spent on Disneyland, I'm like, man, if I would have saved all that money, I'd have so much. I've had thousands of dollars. Yeah, so I don't feel guilty about giving that one up. I'll go again eventually, but I don't feel guilty about giving up that particular cup filler. I can find other ones that will fit into the budget.
Nice. Jordan, free cup fillers. What do you got?
Free cup fillers, yeah. So half of mine are free and half of mine are stupid expensive. Motocross is really expensive.
Oh, yeah, that's an expensive
Playing
hobby.
music's free. You just got to get there. Yeah, I think you got to fundamentally look at what makes you happy and then make a decision based on that and how much you're prepared to sacrifice financially. Like, oh, let's buy a house. We buy a house and we're like, now we've got no money. It's like, yeah, but we have a house. It's like, yeah. So some life shifts with time and you end up moving away from things because you're kind of forced into a position where you have to. But exercise is free. Triathlons are free until the day and you have to pay. It just costs me a lot of time training, that sort of stuff. And there's equipment and that sort of thing. But once you've got it, it's free or you can borrow it, which is what I've done. So, yeah, exercise is a good one and you get really good endorphin hit from that. So if you're looking at trying to fill your cup, then exercise is whatever. You guys talked about dance and riding horses that aren't horses, just like sticks with heads. That's exercise.
I was like, who
So
talks
any
about
of
riding
that,
horses?
Hobby horses.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
I hate real horses,
Yeah.
but I will ride a hobby horse.
horses.
I'm gonna look into it now. Now you've got me going.
Oh my God, you're going to be one of those horse people. I'm
You
so
are.
excited.
We're going to see you on the videos.
Question, Jordan. I
Oh my
do
God.
not get my cup filled from exercise. I view that as more of a
Mhm.
thing I have to do in my life, like along the same lines as like feeding myself or showering. Like it's a chore that I do to take care of my body, but I do not get my cup
Mhm.
filled. What would you suggest for someone like me?
You can do things that you like that are exercise indirectly,
Yeah.
like dance. So dance is exercise. You just don't look at it like that. You're like, oh, I like dancing. You're like, no. In my opinion, you like exercising. It's just you pick this very specific niche thing
Yeah.
that you enjoy doing. Like everyone I talk to about it's like, let's start with, if you want to create a habit, let's start with the shit you're actually going to do.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate running. I'm like, well, don't run. What else? Do you like going to the gym? Yeah, I do. I'm like, well, go to the gym and don't run.
All right.
Let's just
Do something
start by
different.
doing the shit that you like, because anything's
Yeah.
better than nothing. And then from that point on, maybe you grow a passion for running or whatever. Maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. Whatever's going to create like a consistent habit that you actually enjoy. And yeah, dance was a good example of that. So, I don't do any exercise that I enjoy. I'm like, do you like dancing? Oh, well, okay, you win. It's exercise. It's freaking hard, man. Dance is hard. I danced heaps when I was in London. I used to be a mess by the end of it. So
It is.
yeah, sometimes hobbies are like really
That's
good
true.
exercise. I'm not sure about making
Yeah,
goals
that's not
for sore
yeah.
like 17, whatever they're up to now. But yeah, different
I
kind of
used to hike
exercise
a
that
lot
one.
too, and so
Yeah.
I always was like, I didn't ever view that as like exercise. I just really loved it. So yeah, I
hmm
should get back into that as well. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Better than nothing. People are like, oh, I didn't go to the gym. I went for a walk. I'm like, that doesn't count. You're 30. You can't cop out and be like, oh, well, I went for a walk instead. I'm like, no, that's not the same thing. We should all be able to walk unless we're 80 and then going for a walk is good. But again, if you love it, then just do it. If hiking's something you love, it fills you up because you get an awesome view or you get to
Yeah.
get some fresh air or you spend quality time with someone else or whatever it is, just do it. It's still better than watching,
That's true.
sitting around.
That is true.
So,
Mm.
yeah. Get the steps in.
Mm.
Get the steps in.
What about you, Tess?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Free cup fillers. Harder in winter, but swimming at the
Oh,
beach
yeah.
is always really good because you also get the really good endorphins from like cold water, salt water, all of that stuff. Really good for the body. And also it's just fun. I really like swimming. Swimming's really good. And also probably one of my other cup fillers, which is quite similar to yours, Ashton. Like if I'm not quite sure what to do with myself and my mood's a bit low, it's currently the Wicked soundtrack, but it used to be the Hamilton soundtrack, and I'd put it on with like my really good quality headphones and just pull them off just a little bit so I could just hear myself a smidge, and then I'll sing along to that, and then by the end of it, like that's a fucking heart rater, that one. By the time
Yeah.
you start like getting into the like the musical theater of it all with all the expression and my heart rate's up there. Exercise,
does.
it counts. Jordan's face.
Counts.
No.
No, definitely, yeah. Whatever, man.
But yeah, those are definitely some good ones. And I like because you were saying like about walking. My sister loves walking. Like she'll go for like a 3 or 4K in the morning and then the same in the evening because she just loves walking. It's what she does. I hate it. So I find it really pointless. I'm like, why am I going for a walk? I don't want to do this. So I have to make if I'm doing exercise like that much more purposeful. So it definitely has to be something like a run because it's like it's a goal. It's a thing. Whereas walking just feels so. Bleh. Like why am I doing this? I don't want
I'm
to do
with
this.
you.
Yeah. So I do like running as well. Running's a good one. But not everybody likes running. It's more of one of those things people tend to find as a chore. Whereas for me, once I start getting good at it, the first bit sucks. Like the first like month while I'm like building up a little bit of tolerance to it again, that's rubbish. And then once I'm past that, I'm like, oh, this is real fun. This is real good. So I like running. So those are my three.
And
That's what
running's
I'd be doing.
free. Running is totally 100% free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shoes, man, that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. And a really good sports bra. Strap those fuckers down.
Good call. That's a good call that I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Or else
women's
I get hit in the
problems.
face. You know what I mean?
Get those. I know, God.
Yeah.
I'm a not a stranger out. Fuck.
my gosh.
Oh, man.
Boob problems. Right, fabulous. Should we do something different now? I think we should do sounds I can't make.
All right, sweet
Let's
as.
Should we do it? Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I picked these, the next couple of episodes worth of sounds.
I know Jordan's picked them. He's gone on his
yeah.
own volition and picked.
I have been
sounds, which is
fired.
just
It's
wild.
true.
So cool.
Admittedly, I was like sick of the other ones. I was sick of trying to do the other ones. I was like,
Was it-
oh man, you're gonna ask me to try it. It's like some crazy shit. I was like, okay, I'll see what I can find. So, SpongeBob was my favorite cartoon ever.
Cool.
Maybe ever. I'd have to scan the brain
love
and decide
SpongeBob.
if it was ever. Favorite cartoon, guys? Real quick.
Ooh. Well, favorite adult cartoon is Big Mouth and Rick and Morty. I love Big Mouth and Rick and Morty, but childhood. Oh, it's probably not my favorite, but it's very nostalgic. Are Real Monsters?
Oh, such a good
Oh, yeah.
one.
Ah, Real Monsters. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
that's flooded back into. I really enjoyed that, and I also really liked Kim Possible because of obvious reasons.
Impossible.
Nice.
My
Ding,
favorite
ding.
as
Yeah.
an adult, I often go back and watch a lot of Family Guy, a lot of Bob's Burgers, and Big Mouth. I do also really love Big Mouth.
Big Mouth is
As
great.
a kid, I loved the Rugrats. I would have to say that was my number one
Oh, yeah. I was
as
thinking that
a
too.
little kid. My number one cartoon. Yeah.
Oh, and
I loved
Recess.
Recess.
Sorry, Recess has just popped in. I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
Recess.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
Recess was
doozy
really
as
But I
well.
love SpongeBob
Yeah,
too. Like
Recess
I
was wicked.
still love. I would still watch SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob.
Me too. Yeah.
I found SpongeBob really stressful as a kid. It just didn't vibe with me. It wasn't my like things just happened so quickly and they were quite ridiculous and I couldn't quite get
I
behind
still
that.
quote SpongeBob like all the time. All the time. Yeah. Ridiculously.
Hey Arnold, that's another one that I
Oh, I
think
loved
of.
Hey Arnold.
Yeah. I
Oh,
raised
this
that
is a
one
good
too.
question. Are you a Nickelodeon kid or a Cartoon Network kid? Or is it Disney and Cartoon
Oh,
Network?
man, I don't know.
Because I was a Disney Nickelodeon kid. It definitely was
I
not a
wasn't
Cartoon
either.
Network
We didn't
kid.
have it growing up.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Nickelodeon because
Yeah,
of SpongeBob. let's go
Nickelodeon
with
for
it.
sure was the cartoon.
All right, should we try and be Patrick?
Yeah, we should try and be Patrick.
Okay. Sweet. Hopefully this works. All fingers crossed. Tell me if you can't hear it. That's it. Okay, so we'll just go with that. Maybe a
That's
story will
perfect.
cheer you up. It's called The Ugly Barnacle. You want to
Maybe
hear
a
it again?
story will cheer you up.
One
Okay,
more
yes,
time,
I'd like to
please.
hear
One
that
more?
again, please. Yes,
Oh,
please,
yeah,
sir.
cool. All right, here it comes. All right. Any technical tips on how to talk like this?
Lowered larynx position. So making your throat quite wide and using like a big oral space because the bigger, especially for women, the bigger the space, the lower the frequency. Because obviously this is a male voiceover doing this. This definitely isn't a woman. And dullening your nasal resonance. Those would be my top
Yeah.
things. Yeah, because he's very like you could do his voice pinching your nose and it wouldn't change. It shouldn't change, I don't think.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
That's my thing. What were
Yeah.
the words that he used?
Maybe a story.
Maybe a story will cheer you up.
Yeah.
This
This
one
What were
is
the last words?
I think if we just do maybe a story of the ugly barnacle.
of the ugly barnacle. Oh, I don't know if I can go that deep. My voice is way too high pitched.
Yeah, it's quite low. I like almost need to be sick to do it. Let me tell you a story. I think I sound like Barney. Oh.
Yeah, that's true. You do sound like Barney.
But it's really long in the face, and I can't like if I pinch my nose.
I feel like
no
I could do an
change.
angry Patrick better than
Oh, yeah.
this Patrick. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you
No,
can nail
it's
it.
not.
Patrick.
It's
Funny.
Patrick. You know what I mean?
Can we hear it again, Jordan, so I can like hear it and then repeat it? Sometimes
Yeah.
that's easier.
Hopefully. The window's not sharing anymore, is
No,
it?
it
It's not
left.
supposed to
No,
be.
it's not. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
it's
good.
disappeared.
Yeah,
It
good.
left. But just the
Alright.
first bit, like just the first phrase that he says, because there's time in between.
Yeah. Here we go.
Maybe a story will cheer you up. My voice tried to break right at the end there.
It was close.
Oh, maybe a story will cheer you up. I have to like force the base of my tongue like down. Because I can do that
Oh
with
my god.
I make that really big, so-
Yeah, what even was
He's
it?
like a puffer fish.
For those of you who aren't watching the YouTube video, I can make my neck look like a bullfrog.
Oh.
So it like puffs up and down. So like when I do, so I can like make that sound because I can push the base of my tongue really far down. Maybe a story. Look how big my neck is. Maybe a story will cheer.
Perfect for Spotify listeners.
I'm so sorry.
Outstanding.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, go to the YouTube and like scroll in like about 50 minutes.
It's
and
remarkable.
You'll see me.
Exactly,
Or like
remarkable.
40,
Yeah.
45. Thank you. Helps with
I
those,
wanna
lower,
try
those
this
lower
one.
frequency tones. Oh yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't usually, but I'll give it a go.
We've stopped
Here we go.
forcing you of recent.
Yeah. Here we go. All right. Maybe a story will cheer you up.
Oh, see, that's really cute. That's really good. I think you've got the right tone and texture, but you could go deeper.
Maybe a story will cheer you up.
There you go.
Hard.
Jordan. You'll be
One
one of us.
of us. One of us.
One of us.
Uh-oh.
And then like Ashton in the background with her doll. One of us.
I'm gonna bring the doll on when
should
she's
wrap
all
in that
done. You guys will
doll
see.
now.
Please do. Please do. I'm very excited about that. Oh, well, that was good. I liked that sound
That
I
was
can't
cute.
make. That was really
I do love
nice.
Patrick.
It was pleasant. So do I. Patrick's good. I think this has been a really nice
Yeah.
chat, everybody. It's been
Agreed.
quite non-VO focused, which has been really nice to just kind of like chat about other bits and pieces and how we deal with things. I think it's really important to fill your cup. As a person who is currently not filling their cup with additional hobbies, I can't speak highly enough for looking for those additional hobbies. It can be hard to start, but once you've started, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I love doing these things. These are my extra things that aren't like my entire life being focused on my career. So really important to be doing those things. Thank you everybody for sharing all of your like hobbies and tips and tricks on how to be a cup filler.
Aw.
I'm going to
So-
check in, Tessa. I'm going to check in 3 months and see if you've actioned some new hobbies in your life
Some
to
new-
fill your cup. I'm going to
Thank you.
ask on their podcast. Also, that lady, Robbie Cotton. Wow, she's so famous.
Robbie
from
Cotton?
earlier.
Do you mean
Is that in
Rosie
Debbie?
Cotton?
Rosie?
Yeah,
that
that's
one,
Sarah.
Rosie
Yeah.
Cotton. From Lord of the Rings, your boss.
Sarah,
What
yeah.
the heck?
Yeah.
She's famous as.
Whenever we talk
Yeah,
about
she's a real
Sarah,
person. Like she's
Yeah.
like
That's
when
what
I say
we're
real
talking
person,
about.
yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
are real people.
No,
Yeah.
there's a difference between people and real people. Real people are often like whether I think they have like like fame or like stature in society. So she's a real person.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah,
I was
Sarah.
like, whoa, she was in all of it, like, quite
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that the baby that she has is her baby in real
Oh, I
life.
didn't know
That's her oldest daughter.
that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Aw.
because that
That would
was
make sense.
Yeah, so her daughter's in it
That's
as
so
well. Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
So
That's-
cool.
that's Sarah's
Sorry,
baby.
that was. I just remembered at the last moment.
It's all right. To be
You
fair,
can end
because
now.
no, well, because we've mentioned Rosie Cotton, Lord of the Rings, and Sarah McLeod, this will probably be our biggest rating episode for that reason. Because we need to
The hashtag.
Say
make
Lord
sure
of
we
the
put it
Rings
in
100 times.
yeah. Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings. People will be
Yeah.
like, what? These
Yeah.
people are talking about hobbies? They didn't talk about
What
Lord
is
of the
this
Rings.
about?
Fuck
Yeah.
them. Right, well.
What is this podcast?
What is this? What is this?
If we were really good, I would have done a sounds I can't make that was from Lord of the Rings. If we were at like exceptional production level,
Yeah.
drop the ball.
Next
Yeah,
next
we
time.
can
I
we
gotta
can do that.
practice
We
my
can maybe
Gimli
do like a
first.
Lord of the Rings.
I gotta practice for my audition.
Oh
You
yeah.
got a chance. Yeah.
Like just Gimli.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about Gimli earlier on
Yeah.
too. Yeah, mate, we've done all the
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. What other famous things can we just mention to get ratings up?
Nothing. We've run out of time.
Oh, have we? Oh, well then I
Yeah.
apologise. Well then that's it. Done. Thank you for joining us on the Good Talkers podcast. It has been awesome to have you here today. Thank you from the team. Please reach out to us. The Good Talkers podcast at gmail.com is our email address, and you can Google us, YouTube us, TikTok. Yeah, just not Facebook. Again, that profile is still hacked and
Yeah.
I'd have no access to it. So have a wonderful time filling your cup. We will see you next time on the Good Talkers
Bye.
podcast. Bye.
See ya.
I should have said this podcast fills up my cup. Yeah, I should have said that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does. It does. But I should have mentioned that.
It actually does. Like this is one of the things that Jordan, keep this bit in at the end. This is genuinely one of the things that actually fills my cup, and I didn't even mention it.